So basically, I have planned this to cover in this. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So first we have started with Azure DevOps architecture and org management,
Mm-hmm.
and these are all the topics which we have covered all this week. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
can you scroll down? Right. Okay. Scroll down. So like when it comes to DevOps architecture and org management UI things, I have mentioned each and every policies, settings, UI options which are all available in here. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
can you come down a little? No, a little more to the next module. Okay. But in our shoot board, some work items I've mentioned the major topics, but we will be going in deeper. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So like we have covered till 34 on this collecting developer logs till yesterday. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if we are so one or two things that we have missed, which is supposed to like connecting ADO with Entra and uh, assigning any role-based access control there and setting up cap policies, which will
Mm-hmm.
be only available when a device connected to subscription. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. Okay. So, like, please go through this 34 things what we have ten separated, okay? All the
Yeah.
topics. And let me know if you have any doubts in this, and then we will cover one second, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So these are
Okay.
all basically we have covered, and even like we have given you overview how this works and all. Okay, okay, and go through it and let me know if you have any doubts. If you need any information based on that, you can copy that anyone, and go to a browser and search for the documentations. You'll find more information for the official documentations as well.
Okay. Sure.
You just need to I can guide you how you can do that. Like if you copy any one of that and just add ADO, the Azure DevOps, you will get the related links related to these topics. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
is it fine, right?
Yeah, it is fine. I will check. I'll go through this again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We have only covered the first module as of now. Okay, in that
Mm-hmm.
also the pending things are related to the subscription only,
Subscription.
and
Okay.
we'll connect when we are doing with pipelines. Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
Sure.
okay. For that, we'll go ahead with the boards today.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Can we cover these boards later? I think this is not more important, I guess. This
okay.
is later we can come back and then go through the module two because currently
Yeah,
most of the
sure.
companies are not using these boards.
Yeah, yeah. They use
Jira.
Jira. Yeah, Jira
That's
has
more.
more additional features. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
it's easy only. See, even the same policies and they have took Jira as a big picture and like they have developed. You can say that. Okay, okay.
okay.
Same terminology. Maybe the terminologies may differ, but
Mm-hmm.
everything, the rest of the working process, it's fine. Yeah, we can cover it at the end of our training session also if it
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
not important.
Yeah. Okay.
In that case, we'll go ahead with the repositories.
Yeah.
Once we cover repositories, we will cover. See, basically, repositories, pipelines, and artifacts cover at the same time because these three
Okay.
are used at the same time only.
Okay. They're depending on each other,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. There's a dependencies like
Yeah.
we take
Yeah.
source code from repositories, build it
Mm-hmm.
using pipeline,
Yes.
publish it to the artifacts.
Okay.
And even once we publish it to the artifacts as an artifact, we take that artifact and deploy it to the Azure services.
Mm.
So in this case, we need a subscription as well. So
Okay.
yeah, but today, tomorrow, in couple of days, we'll cover the basics. But when we do any complete CI/CD pipeline, we need to have a subscription
Mm. Yes.
to
Yes.
like understand full-fledged to give you a more detail how this works end to end. Okay.
Yeah.
Because if I put it in theoretically, it won't be that clear. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
yes, so,
Okay.
right. So we'll with the show repositories in that case. Uh, yeah. So we have already created this project in our initial training sessions. Okay.
Yes.
So this is stateless video training, and so we have created this project, and then we have selected when it comes to board, we have selected it as default. So remember, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to repositories, we have selected as Git. Okay. So I will create another new project. Okay. So I'll come here. I'll create a new project. I will give who,
Mm-hmm.
and I can select either public or private as we discussed for the usefulness of that as well. Okay. And these are the processes we have it for managing boards.
Yeah.
But this is for version control. Version control in the sense it is of repositories only.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's the name of a version control systems.
Mm-hmm.
So- But see, my Azure DevOps gives you two version controls, which is Git, and another one is TFC. Okay, Team
TFC.
Foundation version control.
Okay.
Okay, but by default, we suggest you to use only Git. TFC is disabled.
Oh,
If you
okay.
want that has to be enabled, you have to come to the organization settings. Okay, and once you are in the organizations, click on the repositories. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
once you are in the repositories, you have to come back to the policies here. Okay, repositories, and these are the repository policies. You have it in the organization level.
Okay.
You can also manage this at the project level, but if this is managed at organization level, this will be inherited. So you won't be having access to make changes at the project level.
Mm. Okay.
Okay. So here, if we are saying the disabled creation of TFEC repositories, okay, we have disabled it. So you can see and work on TFEC repository created before. It says that it will disable new creation of TFEC. But if you have already created, you can work on that. It won't be
Mm-hmm.
removed. You got it?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just turn off this toggle bar again, and again I'll back to the org. And here I'm creating a project. Who I'll choose private, and here version control. You see here now I'm seeing TF Team
Team
Foundation
Foundation.
version control. This was
Yes.
not showing earlier.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is enabled, but still I'll go with Git only for now. And I'll
Okay.
give you, so basically the difference between TFPC and Git are like, the Git is a distributor version control system. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And TF is centralized version control system.
Okay.
So earlier, how everyone used, see, earlier, only the TFPC was there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Even the TFPC is something which Microsoft has invented and they use it for their version as a version control, okay?
Mm-hmm.
When I say it is a centralized, uh, so I'll explain some of the features of TFPC and Git, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So do you have any idea on that decentralized and distributed version control systems?
Not sure, but Git is like is distributed, but I'm not sure about TFC.
Okay.
Yeah.
So distributed in the sense, see, a number of users can connect to that and download whatever the updated source code which is presented in the remote to their
Okay.
local, and even in the offline they can work on it. Once their work is finished, they can connect to the remote and do a commit and push the source code, correct?
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so but okay, and this here you if you notice most of the works can be done in the offline only. They don't have to be connected to the Azure DevOps all the time. They can work
Oh,
on the offline, and when they want to push their commit source to the repositories, in that time if they can just clone the repository and check what are the changes has been done in meantime when they're working on their last updated source code, you know, resolve all the merge conflicts, okay, and push
mm-hmm.
it,
Okay.
okay. But when it comes to TFEC, you have to be connected all the time. Also, uh, you can only have one repository for one organization when it comes to
Yeah.
TFEC. Okay,
Mm.
okay, you cannot have more than one repositories in as a TFEC.
Okay. Centralized. Okay.
Yeah. Let's this. And also TFVC is something you have to be. So if you know, like for example, I have my repository is in this state. Okay. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
have all the files in the remote and everything. Okay, and if I want to clone this to the to my local, I can directly clone and copy the entire repository. Okay, but when it comes to TFVC, you cannot keep the entire repository in your local. You can just keep one file which you're working on.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
you cannot carry the history of the repository in your local. If you want to know the history of the repository, you have to be connected to the server all the time.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is something you cannot manage it in offline. You have to be online when you're working on TFVC. Okay,
Okay.
okay, and also branches are also lightweight. Okay, so here in Git, you can create as many branches as many you can. Okay,
Yes.
okay, but when it comes to TFVC, it follows a different structure.
Mm,
It's like a folder based branching. They say okay, but it's not something with the Git. So I would say like TFVC is like old version controls which many of the organizations were using, which is
mm,
useful to manage any large projects, but still you can use Git to manage that as well. And even like so now TFVC is like going down. No one is using much. Even Microsoft itself is stopped investing on TFVC, bringing new features on any new updates on that. Whatever they have developed, it's the end of it.
yes, this
So I
connector.
was, yeah, sure, no worries.
Yeah.
So I was saying that even Microsoft has stopped investing on TFVC development or getting any updates on TFVC. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have moved out. They are not even suggesting their customers now with TFVC. Okay. There are
Mm,
some drawbacks when it comes to TFVC. Some YAML pipelines does not support with TFVC. You have to be on Git only to work on TFVC.
okay.
Okay, you have to be Git only. You see here, it only supports Azure Repos YAML, Bitbucket YAML, GitHub, and this YAML
Mm,
pipelines. Okay, YAML. You see, you cannot use RTFEC for your Azure DevOps YAML pipelines.
mm, mm.
Okay, and some of the drawbacks lacking with TFEC as well, and this cannot be updated anymore. They have completely stopped, and they are even suggesting customers to go with Git only,
Okay.
which has more advanced features. Okay,
Mm,
and even Git, like even here repositories, you can create as many repositories you want, but TFVC you can only have one repository.
okay.
Okay, so we'll say, look, for example, we have Git. So uh, we will, so this is a Git. So we have files where we will see all our files. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and this, so we will use to clone our repository. There are
Okay.
two types of cloning methods: HTTPS, which is 443 port
For,
number.
yeah.
So HTTPS operates in port 443. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And then SSH, which is operates in 2022. Sorry, 22.
22. Okay.
Yeah. Port 22 for SSH. Okay. And there is another way of like you can also generate Git credentials. So
Credentials.
this will generate credential with your username. Okay. Username in the sense this is of the org name.
Okay.
Okay. It's of like username with what user you are trying to log in. What
Mm,
credential? Okay. And this is of pat, which automatically creates. You don't have to create, which creates with the scope that you can access, clone this repository.
okay. So
Okay.
these are the credentials to everyone need to use, right, in order to clone their project. Right. When cloning, they need to provide these credentials, right?
No, they don't have to use this.
Okay. 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 Okay.
We
Now, in
that is
case if we
no, this
generate
is some
a
this is an
project.
optional part which you can use it. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
When it comes to you personally, because Tulasi Kumar Reddy 001 is my name.
Okay.
Okay. And from your account, you cannot do that, right? It will be the identity mismatch. Okay.
Mm,
So in that case, what you can do is you can take the project name or the repository name. So you can take this URL,
mm-hmm.
okay, and create a pat. That pat can be applicable and used by anyone in your organization with that
Okay.
access,
Okay. Okay.
but not here.
This is only specific to you, right?
Yeah.
Other cannot access.
So when you are using this, you have to pass the username as this and
Mm,
this. And how will
mm,
others know that is my username, right?
okay, okay.
So basically, this is an optional, but you don't use this option, get credentials. You don't
Okay,
use it. Either you use HTTPS or SSH. Okay.
okay.
And there is another like ID clone to V. So these are all Azure DevOps supports. Okay. So if you want to work source code, if you're not comfortable, so we will see how it works. Okay. So if I go to Visual Studio,